beloved child, stop for a moment. Do not rush past this. Do not treat these words as ordinary or accidental. You opened this because something within you was quietly pulling, something deeper than curiosity, something that knew this moment was meant for you. I have been watching you hesitate, watching you wonder whether to keep scrolling, whether to stay, whether this message was truly for you. And I tell you now, with all the tenderness of a father who knows his child by name, this is not random. This is intentional. This is personal. This is for you. I know how heavy your heart hath been, even when you smile for others. I know the thoughts you carry late at night, the questions you don't say out loud, the ache you've learned to live with. You have wondered if anyone truly sees you, if anyone understands the quiet weight you bear. Hear me clearly now. I see you. I have always seen you. Long before you arrived here, long before you pressed play, I was already speaking your name. You may feel like you are standing at a crossroads you never planned for, or like life has moved faster than your ability to keep up. Perhaps you feel behind, unsure, or worn down by waiting. Perhaps you told yourself you were fine, but something inside you whispered that you needed this moment. That whisper was not weakness. It was wisdom. It was your soul recognizing my voice before your mind could explain it. This message is sealed with care, wrapped in love, and delivered straight to the place you tried to protect the most. Not to pressure you, not to demand anything from you, but to remind you that you are not forgotten, not overlooked, and not alone. I am not here to overwhelm you with answers. I am here to sit with you, to steady your heart, to gently remind you that you are held. You did not stumble into this by mistake. I guided you here because I know exactly where you are emotionally, spiritually, and quietly within yourself. I know what you've been carrying without asking for help. I know the strength it took just to keep going. And I also know how close you are to needing rest, reassurance, and truth spoken softly over your life. So breathe, my child. Let your shoulders relax. Let your guard lower just a little. You do not need to perform here. You do not need to prove anything to me. You are safe in this moment. These words are not rushing you forward or dragging you backward. They are meeting you exactly where you are. This is your pause. This is your invitation to listen. Not with fear, not with doubt, but with a quiet understanding that you are seen, known, and deeply loved. Stay with me. There is more I want to tell you. My beloved child, before you ever realized you needed this moment, I was already aware of it. Before you searched for comfort, before you felt the ache that led you here, I saw you. Not from a distance, not vaguely, but intimately, fully, completely. I saw the road that led you to this very breath you are taking right now. I saw the choices you made, the ones you celebrate and the ones you still replay in silence. None of it surprised me. None of it pushed me away. I watched you wake up on days when your body moved forward but your heart felt slow and tired. I watched you carry responsibilities that others never noticed. I saw the strength you were forced to develop too early and the softness you learned to hide because the world did not always handle it gently. You wondered if anyone understood the cost of being you. I did. I still do. There were moments you questioned whether you mattered, moments when you felt invisible even in crowded rooms. You may have told yourself to be grateful, to stay quiet, to not ask for more. But I heard every unspoken prayer, every sigh you released when no one else was listening. I counted each tear you wiped away quickly, hoping no one would see. I did not miss a single one. You did not drift through life unnoticed. I was with you in the quiet hours, when your thoughts grew loud and heavy. I was with you in the confusion, when answers felt delayed and clarity felt distant. Even when you doubted me, even when you pulled away, I did not leave. I stayed closer than your breath, steadier than your fear. I know there were times you believed you had to figure everything out alone. Times you felt ashamed for needing reassurance, for longing to be held emotionally, spiritually, deeply. But hear me now, your need never disappointed me. Your longing never exhausted me. You were never a burden in my eyes. You were, and still are, my beloved child. I saw you survive things you never thought you would. I saw you endure disappointment that reshaped you, loss that left empty spaces, and waiting that tested your hope. You wondered if those seasons changed how I saw you. They did not. If anything, they revealed your courage, your tenderness, and your quiet faith even when you didn't realize you still had it. I saw the moments you tried to be strong for everyone else while neglecting your own heart. I saw you show up when you felt empty. I saw you love even after being hurt. I saw you keep going when stopping felt easier. You were not doing that alone, even when it felt that way. I was strengthening you gently, patiently, without force. You may think I noticed you only now, that I found you only when you reached this point. But the truth is, I have known you since before you learned how to name your feelings, before you learned how to protect yourself, before you learned how to doubt your worth. I knew you in your becoming. I knew you in your waiting. I knew you in your wandering. And I want you to understand something important. You do not need to explain yourself to me. You do not need to justify your emotions or your pace. I already know what shaped you. I already understand why you feel the way you do. There is no part of your story that disqualifies you from my love. So stay present with me here. Let the noise soften. Let the pressure ease. You are not being evaluated. You are being welcomed. I am not rushing you toward change. I am simply reminding you that you have always been known, always been seen, and always been held, even in moments you thought you were completely alone. And as you listen, let your heart rest in this truth. You were never overlooked. You were never forgotten. You were never out of my sight. My beloved child, this moment you are in right now was not scheduled by chance. It was appointed with care. Every second that led you here was gently aligned, not rushed, not forced, but guided. You may feel like your life has been scattered, like timing has never quite worked in your favor, but hear me clearly. This moment is on time. You are on time. Your heart is on time. And nothing about you has fallen behind my plan. I know you have felt restless lately, as if something is shifting beneath the surface, but you cannot yet name it. That uneasiness is not fear, it is awakening. It is the stirring of hope that has been quiet for a while. I allowed this moment to meet you because your spirit needed confirmation before your mind could catch up. You needed to be reminded that I am still speaking, still guiding, still involved in every detail of your life. You may have asked yourself, why now? Why these words? Why this pause? It is because you have reached a point where you can hear me without noise drowning me out. You are listening differently now. Not desperately, not demanding answers, but open. And openness is sacred ground. That is where I do my deepest work. I want you to know that nothing you are feeling right now is wasted. The calm, the emotion, even the tears you may be holding back, all of it matters. This is not a passing moment of comfort. This is a reminder of alignment, a quiet recalibration of your heart with truth. You are not drifting. You are being drawn. So if these words are settling gently into your spirit, if something within you feels seen or steadied, respond to this moment. not out of obligation but out of agreement. Let this message be a marker in your journey. And if you feel led, bless this moment by liking this video, by hyping it so it can reach others who are silently searching for the same reassurance. When you do, you are not just engaging with content, you are saying yes to what I am doing right now. Stay connected by subscribing, so you can continue to receive these moments of truth and peace when you need them most. Now hear me as I speak beyond just you, even though this message is meant for you. There are many hearts waiting in quiet places, many souls standing on the edge of hope, wondering if I still see them. And I am telling you, my child, that when you help this message move, you are helping light travel farther than you can imagine. Listen closely, because this is where I invite you into something deeper. I say to you, sow, and you will see the harvest, not just in your life, but in the lives of others who need to hear that they are not forgotten. When you choose to support this work through super thanks, membership, or even a simple gift through PayPal, you are not giving to a channel. You are placing seed into living soil. You are helping my words reach hearts that are dry, weary, and searching. I am speaking to you personally now. I have placed generosity in your spirit for moments like this. This is not pressure. This is calling. There are rivers I desire to release through you, light I desire to multiply through your obedience. The links are already prepared for you in the description, and even made visible through the QR code, because I make the path clear when the moment is right. Do not delay what your heart already recognizes. This is holy ground. This is a divine exchange. As you give, I bless your hands. As you sow, I watch over your harvest. As you act, I cover you with peace and return to you what you pour out, pressed down and overflowing. Now remain here with me. Let this moment seal itself in your spirit. What is beginning now will unfold gently, step by step, and I will walk with you through every part of it. My beloved child, now that you are here with me, I want you to do something gentle but powerful. Lay down what you have been carrying. Not all at once if that feels too heavy, but honestly, without pretending it does not weigh on you. You have been holding more than you were ever meant to hold alone. You learned how to endure, how to stay composed, how to keep moving even when your heart was tired. But this moment is not asking you to be strong. It is inviting you to rest. I see the burdens you picked up slowly, one responsibility at a time. Some were placed on you by circumstance. Some you took on because you care deeply. Some you carried because you felt you had no other choice. Over time, they became familiar, almost normal, even though they were never meant to become permanent. You adapted to the weight, but it has been costing you more than you admit. There are worries you revisit every morning before your feet touch the ground. There are regrets you replay, wondering if different choices would have changed everything. There are fears about the future that sit quietly in the background, shaping your decisions without your permission. You have been brave, but bravery does not mean you must carry everything forever. Bring it to me now. The pressure to have it all figured out, the ache of unanswered questions, the exhaustion that sleep alone has not healed. You do not need to organize it or explain it perfectly. I already understand the shape of your pain. I am not overwhelmed by it. I am not disappointed by it. I am steady enough to hold it with you. Imagine setting it down, not in defeat, but in trust. Like placing a heavy bag on the ground after a long journey and realizing how much lighter your body feels the moment you release it. That is what this moment can be. You are not abandoning responsibility. You are allowing me to carry what was never meant to crush your spirit. You may be afraid of what happens if you stop holding everything together, You may worry that things will fall apart if you loosen your grip. But hear me. I am not asking you to let go into emptiness. I am asking you to let go into my hands. I am capable of sustaining what you have been straining to manage on your own. I know there is a part of you that feels guilty resting, as if slowing down means you are failing or falling behind. That belief did not come from me. Rest is not weakness. Surrender is not loss. Trust is not negligence. When you release the weight to me, you are choosing wisdom, not avoidance. You do not have to prove your worth through endurance. You do not have to earn my care by suffering quietly. I am not impressed by how much you can carry. I am attentive to how deeply you are loved. And right now, love looks like relief. Love looks like permission to breathe without bracing for impact. Let your mind slow down. Let your shoulders soften. Let the constant calculating of what if and what next quiet for a moment. Even if only for this space, allow yourself to be held. You have been the one holding everyone else together for so long. It is safe for you to be supported now. There are things you have been trying to fix that require patience, not pressure. There are wounds that heal through gentleness, not force. You do not have to rush the process. You do not have to carry tomorrow into today. I am already there, and I am already enough. As you lay these things down, notice the stillness that follows. That is not emptiness. That is peace, beginning to take root. It may feel unfamiliar, even uncomfortable at first because you are used to tension. But peace will not harm you. It will restore you. Stay here a little longer. Let this moment teach your heart that you are allowed to rest without everything falling apart. You are allowed to trust without losing control. You are allowed to be cared for deeply, completely, and without condition. I am here, and I am carrying you. My beloved child, I want to speak gently but clearly into a place where doubt has tried to settle. You are not late. You are not behind. You have not missed your moment, your purpose, or your future. I know you have looked around and measured your life against others, wondering why your path seems slower, heavier, or more complicated. I know you have questioned your timing, replaying moments, and thinking, if only I had known then what I know now. But hear me with your whole heart. Your life is not off schedule. Time, as you understand it, has a way of making you feel rushed or inadequate. It tells you that you should be further along, more certain, more accomplished, more settled. It whispers that delays mean denial and that waiting means failure. But that voice is not mine. I do not measure your life by comparison or pressure. I measure it by growth, depth, and readiness. There were seasons when it felt like everyone else was moving forward while you were standing still. You watched doors open for others while yours remained closed. You wondered if you were doing something wrong, if you lacked something essential. But what you could not see was that I was strengthening foundations that would need to last. I was protecting you from paths that would have cost you more than you realized. You did not waste time. You were learning. You were healing. You were becoming. Some lessons can only be learned slowly, through experience, through waiting, through moments that stretch your patience and refine your heart. If I had rushed you, you might have arrived too early, unprepared for what was ahead. Delay was not punishment. It was preparation. I know the ache of feeling behind can quietly erode your confidence. It can make you question your worth and your ability to dream again. It can convince you that you should settle for less because time has passed. But I tell you now, with unwavering truth, your future has not expired. Your calling is not weakened. Your story is not running out of room to unfold. Where you are right now is not a detour. is part of the journey. Every step you took, even the ones you regret, even the ones that led through confusion or loss, taught you something your heart needed. I was with you in all of it, shaping wisdom, compassion, and resilience within you. You are not the same person you were before, and that matters more than speed. You may feel pressure to catch up, to hurry into clarity, to force answers before they are ready. But rushing will not bring peace. Trust will. You do not need to chase what is meant for you. What is mine for you will meet you at the right time, in the right way, without harming your soul. I want you to release the belief that you have fallen behind some invisible standard. There is no universal timeline you are failing to meet. There is only your path, your pace, and my presence guiding you through it. I am not disappointed in where you are. I am attentive. I am involved. I am patient. There is beauty in your unfolding. There is strength in the way you have endured uncertainty. There is purpose even in the waiting. And when the next door opens, you will walk through it with a depth and awareness you could not have had earlier. You will be ready in ways you do not yet recognize. So stop counting the years as loss. Stop labeling your waiting as weakness. Stop telling yourself that you are running out of time. You are not behind. You are becoming. And becoming takes exactly as long as it needs to. Rest in this truth, my child. Let it quiet the anxious comparisons. Let it soften the regret. Let it give you permission to trust the timing of your life again. I am not late with you. I am not rushed with you. I am right on time, and so are you. My beloved child, there were moments when you felt alone, when silence surrounded you so completely that you wondered if I had stepped away. You searched for signs, for answers, for reassurance, and when none came quickly, doubt began to whisper. You asked yourself where I was when you needed comfort the most, when prayers felt unanswered and the weight of life pressed in from every side. I want you to hear this clearly now. I never stopped walking with you. Not for a single step. Even in the seasons when my presence felt distant, I was closer than you realized. I was in the quiet strength that helped you get out of bed on days you wanted to disappear. I was in the restraint that kept you from giving up when quitting felt justified. I was in the small mercies that carried you through moments you thought you would not survive. My guidance does not always arrive with noise or spectacle. Often, it comes as endurance, as subtle protection, as unseen support. There were times when you expected me to intervene in obvious ways, to change circumstances quickly, to remove pain immediately. When that did not happen, you wondered if you had done something wrong, if your faith was not enough, if you were somehow overlooked. But my love is not measured by how loudly I act. Sometimes the greatest care is shown in how carefully I walk with you through what cannot yet be removed. I know there were moments you felt abandoned, moments when the path ahead was unclear and the past felt heavy. You stood in places of uncertainty, not knowing which direction to turn, and you thought you were navigating alone. But I was guiding your steps quietly, preventing harm you never saw, redirecting paths that would have broken you, and holding you steady when your faith trembled. I was there when you made choices out of survival, not confidence. I was there when you stayed longer than you should have because you were afraid of what leaving might cost. I was there when you walked away even though it hurt, trusting something inside you that said it was time. I was present in every decision, not judging you but guiding you with patience. You may not recognize it now, but there were moments when you were spared from things you once begged for. Opportunities that seemed right at the time but would have wounded you deeply. Relationships that looked promising but were not safe for your heart. Paths that glittered with possibility but led to emptiness. When those doors closed, they felt like loss. In truth, it was protection. I have been shaping you in ways that required my nearness, not my absence. I was teaching you discernment through disappointment. I was teaching you trust through waiting. I was teaching you resilience through difficulty. You did not walk through those valleys alone, even when you could not feel my hand. I was steady beside you, matching your pace, never pushing, never leaving. You are not weak for questioning where I was. You are human. But now I ask you to look back gently, not with regret, but with understanding. And notice the ways you grew stronger without becoming hard. Notice how you learned compassion instead of bitterness. Notice how you are still capable of hope, even after disappointment. Those are not accidents. Those are signs of my presence at work within you. I know it is hard to trust what you cannot always feel, but faith is not the absence of questions. It is the decision to keep walking even when answers are delayed. And you did that. Even in your doubt, even in your weariness, you kept moving forward. I was walking with you then, and I am walking with you now. Let this truth settle into your heart. You were never abandoned. You were never navigating alone. The silence was not my absence. It was my quiet guidance. And as you move forward, I want you to remember this when the path grows uncertain again. You do not have to search for me. I am already beside you, steady and unwavering, guiding you with love that has never once let you go. My beloved child, I know what broke you. Not just the event itself, but the moment it changed how you saw the world, how you saw yourself. I know the disappointment that cut deeper than you expected, the betrayal that made you question your own judgment, the loss that left a quiet ache no one else could see. You did not imagine that pain. You did not exaggerate it. It mattered, and it marked you. There are wounds you carry that never had the chance to fully speak. You learned how to keep going, how to function, how to appear composed while something inside you fractured. You told yourself it was over, that you should be past it by now, but pieces of it still surface when you least expect them. A memory, a tone of voice, a familiar situation can bring it all back. That does not mean you are weak. It means you were hurt. I know how carefully you learned to protect yourself after that. How you measured your words. How you held back trust. How you told yourself you would never let that happen again. You built walls not because you were cold, but because you were wounded. And I have never been offended by your caution. I understand it. What broke you did not disqualify you. It did not reduce your worth or make you less worthy of love. It did not erase the goodness in you or the future I have for you. It revealed how deeply you feel, how sincerely you love, how much you give when you believe in something. Those are not flaws. Those are treasures that deserve protection and healing, not shame. You may wonder why I allowed that pain, why I did not stop it sooner. I know that question lingers, even if you try not to ask it. I will not dismiss it or silence it, but hear me gently. I was not absent in your breaking. I was present in your survival. I was holding you together in ways you could not see, ensuring that what happened to you would not define you forever. I saw the nights when you lay awake, replaying conversations, wishing you had spoken differently or left sooner. I saw the self-blame you carried, the belief that if you had been wiser or stronger, it would not have hurt so much. But the truth is, love requires vulnerability, and vulnerability always carries risk. You did not fail because you trusted. You were courageous. I want you to know that I am not asking you to reopen wounds carelessly or rush your healing. Healing is not forgetting. It is not pretending it did not matter. Healing is learning that the pain no longer controls you. that the past does not get the final word over your future, and healing happens gently, at a pace your heart can bear. You are allowed to grieve what was lost. You are allowed to acknowledge what should have been different. You are allowed to feel sadness without believing it means you are stuck. I am not impatient with your process. I am not measuring your progress against anyone else's timeline. I am walking with you as you heal, step by step. What broke you did not harden you beyond repair. It did not steal your capacity for joy, even if joy feels distant right now. It did not take away your ability to love again, even if you are cautious. I am restoring you from the inside out, tending to the places you hide, speaking life into the places that learn to be silent. One day, you will look back and realize that the pain did not have the power you feared it did. It shaped you, yes, but it did not own you. It refined your discernment. It deepened your compassion. It taught you what you truly need and deserve. And through it all, I remained with you, committed to your wholeness. So do not be ashamed of what broke you. Bring it into the light with me. Let me tend to it with patience and care. You are not damaged beyond healing. You are not defined by your wounds. You are still my beloved child, and I am still restoring you, piece by precious piece. My beloved child, I want you to hear this with clarity and gentleness. Even this was not wasted. Nothing you endured, nothing that confused you, nothing that hurt you so deeply has been discarded or ignored. I do not waste pain. I do not overlook tears. I do not allow suffering to exist without purpose unfolding from it. What felt like an ending was often a reshaping. What felt like loss was often the clearing of space for something truer. I know it is hard to believe that now. When you were in the middle of it, it felt senseless, heavy, unfair. You asked what good could possibly come from something that took so much from you. You questioned whether it would leave permanent damage, whether it would stain your future. But I was working in ways you could not yet see, using even the broken pieces to build wisdom, depth, and strength within you. Think of a field that must be turned before new seed can grow. The soil looks ruined, disrupted, stripped of what once stood there. But beneath the surface, it is being prepared. Roots cannot grow in untouched ground. Growth requires change, and change is rarely comfortable. What you experienced was not destruction without intention. It was preparation you did not recognize at the time. There were lessons you could not have learned any other way. Compassion that only comes from knowing pain personally. Discernment that only forms after disappointment. Strength that emerges not from ease but from endurance. You did not choose those lessons, but you learned them with courage. And now they live within you, shaping how you love, how you see, how you stand. You may wish you could erase certain chapters of your life, skip over them entirely. But those chapters taught you what you deserve, what you will no longer tolerate, and what truly matters. They refined your heart. They clarified your values. They showed you that you can survive more than you ever imagined. That knowledge will serve you in ways you have not yet encountered. I know there are memories you still avoid, places you do not want to revisit in your mind. That is understandable. Healing does not mean constantly reopening wounds. But one day, you will be able to look back without being overwhelmed, and you will see how carefully I carried you through each moment. You will see how close you came to breaking, and how you did not. You will see my hand where you once saw only chaos. Even your mistakes were not wasted. The choices you regret, the paths that led to disappointment, the words you wish you could take back, all of them became teachers. They taught you humility. They taught you empathy. They taught you how to listen to your inner wisdom more closely. You are not defined by your missteps. You are refined by what you learned from them. I am weaving your story with intention. Threads that look dark and painful are part of a design you cannot yet fully see. When the tapestry is unfinished, it can look confusing, even ugly. But I see the whole picture. I know where each thread belongs. And I promise you, the beauty will make sense in time. Do not rush to understand everything right now. Understanding often comes later, after healing has softened the edges. For now, trust that nothing you lived through was meaningless. Trust that I am capable of redeeming even the hardest seasons. Trust that your life is not a collection of random wounds, but a story moving toward restoration. You are not behind because of what you endured. You are not damaged beyond hope. You are not weaker for having suffered. You are deeper. You are wise. You are more attuned to what is real. And those qualities will guide you into the next season with clarity and strength. So release the fear that your pain ruined your future. It did not. I prepared you for it. I am not finished with your story. What felt wasted is becoming wisdom. What felt like loss is becoming foundation. And what felt like an ending is quietly unfolding into something new, something meaningful, something that will one day bring peace to your heart. My beloved child, I am restoring what you thought was gone forever. Not always in the same form, not always in the way you imagined, but with care, intention, and love that reaches deeper than before. I know there are things you mourn quietly, dreams you placed on a shelf, parts of yourself you believed were lost to time, pain, or disappointment. You told yourself not to hope for them again because hoping once hurt too much. But I am not limited by what you have lost, and I am not intimidated by what feels impossible to you. Restoration does not always announce itself loudly. Often it begins subtly, in small shifts you barely notice at first. A moment of peace where anxiety once lived. A spark of curiosity where numbness used to be. A gentle desire to try again, even when fear still lingers. These are not accidents. They are signs of life returning, roots reaching toward light. I know you fear disappointment. You have learned to guard your heart carefully, to lower expectations so the fall will not hurt as much. That instinct protected you for a season, but it was never meant to become permanent. I am not asking you to rush into blind hope. I am asking you to trust that I can rebuild what was broken without repeating what wounded you. There are dreams you buried because they felt too fragile to survive another loss. There are parts of your identity you quieted because the world did not receive them gently. There are joys you postponed because grief took up too much space. I see all of it, and I am not judging you for how you cope. I am inviting you to let me breathe life back into those places slowly, safely, and in season. You may think restoration means returning to the past, but that is not what I am doing. I am not dragging you backward. I am bringing forward what was true and good, refining it, strengthening it, and placing it into a future where it can thrive. What returns will be wiser. What is rebuilt will be stronger. What is restored will be more aligned with who you have become. I know you question whether you can trust joy again. You wonder if allowing yourself to feel hopeful will make you vulnerable to pain once more. But joy does not have to be reckless to be real. Hope does not have to be naive to be powerful. I am teaching you how to hope with discernment, how to love with wisdom, how to dream with your feet planted firmly in truth. You have not missed your chance at happiness. You have not aged out of purpose. You have not lost your ability to be fulfilled. Life is not finished unfolding for you. There are chapters ahead that will surprise you with their gentleness, their clarity, and their beauty. And you will enter them with a depth of understanding you did not have before. I am restoring your trust in yourself. the confidence you lost when things did not work out the way you planned, the belief in your intuition that was shaken by betrayal or failure. I am helping you remember that you are capable, discerning, and resilient. You are not defined by the times you were wrong. You are shaped by how you learned and grew. I'm also restoring your sense of belonging, the feeling that you fit somewhere, that you are welcome, that you matter. Loneliness may have told you that you were an outsider, but that was never the truth. You belong in the life I am leading you into. You belong in relationships that honor your heart. You belong in spaces where you can breathe and be yourself. Do not rush the process. Restoration is not a switch. It is a journey. Some days you will feel strong and hopeful. Other days you may feel hesitant and tired. Both are part of healing. I am patient with you. I am attentive to every step. I am celebrating progress you may not yet recognize. What you thought was gone is not forgotten. What you believed was lost is being renewed. And what you feared would never return is being reimagined with greater care than before. Trust me, my child. I am restoring more than you realize, and what is coming will not harm you. It will heal you. My beloved child, listen closely now. Not with urgency, not with strain, but with a softened heart. There are moments when I ask you to move, and moments when I ask you to wait. And then there are moments like this, when I ask you simply to listen. This is one of those moments. The noise around you has been loud for a long time. Expectations, opinions, fears, and distractions have all competed for your attention. But here, in this quiet space, I am drawing you nearer so you can hear what truly matters. I am not speaking to overwhelm you. I am not rushing you into decisions. I am speaking to anchor you, to remind you that you do not need to have everything figured out to be held securely. When you listen without fear, without trying to control the outcome, you begin to notice my guidance in ways you may have missed before. It often comes softly, as peace rather than pressure, as clarity rather than urgency. You have spent so much time trying to interpret signs, searching for certainty, wondering if you are hearing me correctly. But hearing me does not require perfection. It requires presence. Right now, I am asking you to slow your inner world enough to notice the steadiness beneath the chaos. That steadiness is me. I am not distant. I am not confusing. I am consistent, patient, and near. There are things you will understand later that you are not meant to grasp fully now. And that is not a failure. It is trust unfolding. When you learn to listen without demanding immediate answers, you make room for wisdom to arrive at the right time. You do not need to force insight. It will come gently, like light through a window, illuminating what you need when you are ready. If these words are calming your spirit, if they are helping you feel grounded or reassured, respond to that peace. Let it move through you and outward. Take a moment to like this video and hype it, so this message can reach others who are quietly longing for the same reassurance. When you do, you become part of something larger than yourself. Stay connected by subscribing, because there will be moments ahead when you need to return to this stillness, and I will meet you there again. Now hear me as I speak beyond this moment. There are many who feel unseen, unheard, and unsure of where to turn. When you help this message travel, you are helping light reach places that feel dark. And I am inviting you into that work, not as a spectator but as a vessel. I speak to you personally now. I say give, and it will be given to you. Not as obligation, but as alignment. When you support this work through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link provided in the description and shown by the QR code, You are sowing into living ground. You are placing seed where my words can continue to flow, where weary hearts can find rest, and where hope can rise again. I am the one who brings the harvest. You are the one who releases the seed, and I bless that partnership. Your generosity is not unseen. It is not small. It is an act of obedience that opens rivers beyond what you can measure. Do not hesitate when your spirit recognizes the moment. Act while your heart is stirred. I speak blessing over what you release. I multiply peace in your life. I return clarity where there has been confusion. I open doors you do not yet see. As you give, I cover you. As you sow, I provide. As you act, I remain faithful. Now settle back into listening. Let your heart stay open without strain. There is more unfolding ahead, and you do not have to chase it. Stay with me. I am leading you gently, one quiet step at a time. My beloved child, I want you to release something that has been quietly weighing on your heart for a long time. You do not need to prove yourself to me. Not through achievements, not through endurance, not through how well you hold yourself together. I have never asked you to earn my love, and I never will. Yet I know how often you feel like you must justify your place, your worth, your existence. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love had conditions, that approval came after performance, that rest was only allowed once everything was finished and everyone else was satisfied. You carried that belief into your relationship with me, even if you never meant to. You thought you needed to be stronger, more faithful, more consistent, more certain. But my love was never waiting on your improvement. I see how hard you try. I see the pressure you place on yourself to be enough, to not disappoint, to meet expectations that keep shifting. I see the quiet exhaustion that comes from always feeling like you are falling short, even when you are doing your best. But hear me now. I am not measuring you by outcomes. I am not grading your faith. I am not tallying your mistakes. You are not on trial in my presence. You are not being evaluated. You are being loved. You may believe that if you slow down, if you stop striving, something bad will happen. That you will lose momentum, lose purpose, lose favor. But striving has never been the source of your value. Your value was established before you ever did anything right or wrong. It was spoken over you before you took your first breath. Nothing you accomplish adds to it, and nothing you fail at takes away from it. I know there are voices in your past that told you otherwise. Voices that said you had to earn affection or attention. Voices that withdrew love when you disappointed them. Those voices were wrong. They shaped habits in you, but they did not define truth. And now I am inviting you to unlearn what hurt you. You do not have to impress me with your strength. I already know where you are strong and where you are tired. You do not have to hide your doubts. I am not threatened by your questions. You do not have to maintain a version of yourself that feels acceptable. I desire your honesty more than your performance. When you come to me exhausted, you are not failing. You are trusting. When you admit you do not have answers, you are not weak. You are open. When you rest without guilt, you are not being careless. You are responding to love. I want you to notice how often you apologize for taking up space emotionally. How often you downplay your needs. How quickly you minimize your pain so others feel comfortable. Those habits did not come from humility. They came from survival. And you no longer need them here. In my presence, you are allowed to take up space. You are allowed to need comfort. You are allowed to be unfinished. I am not waiting for a better version of you to show up. I am with you now, as you are, in this moment. Let the pressure lift. Let the need to prove fade. Let your heart rest in the truth that you are already accepted, already known, already chosen. You do not have to chase my approval. You already have it. As you move forward, I want you to remember this when the old patterns try to return. When you feel the urge to overextend, to over-explain, to overachieve just to feel secure. Pause. Breathe. And remember that your worth is not fragile. It is anchored in my love. You are enough not because of what you do, but because of who you are. And who you are is my beloved child. My beloved child, I want you to understand something that reaches deeper than reassurance and stronger than encouragement. I chose you knowing everything. Not the polished version of you, not the future version of you, not the version you hope to become one day. I chose you with full knowledge of your fears, your questions, your missteps, and the parts of you that still feel unfinished. Nothing about you was hidden from me, and nothing disqualified you. You have wondered, at times, whether you would still be loved if everything about you were fully known. You feared that if the layers were peeled back, if the doubts and contradictions were revealed, acceptance would disappear. But I am not discovering you as you go. I have always known you completely, and my love has never wavered. There are parts of yourself you struggle to accept, parts you wish were different, stronger, calmer, more certain. You have looked at others and wondered why it seems easier for them, why they appear more confident, more secure, more whole. And in those comparisons, you quietly questioned your own worth. But I did not choose you by comparison. I chose you with intention. Your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your depth is not a weakness. Your questions are not failures of faith. They are signs of a heart that feels deeply, thinks carefully, and longs for truth. I knew this about you when I called you mine. I did not ask you to become someone else to be worthy of love. I embrace who you already are. You may carry shame for moments you wish you could undo. Choices made in fear. Words spoken in pain. Silence kept when you should have spoken. But shame tells an incomplete story. It focuses only on the mistake and ignores the context, the learning, the growth that followed. I see the whole story. I see how you learned. I see how you changed. I see how you became more compassionate, more aware, more humble because of what you lived through. I did not withdraw when you struggled. I did not turn away when you doubted. I did not regret choosing you when things became messy. My commitment to you is not fragile. It does not break under pressure. It does not disappear when you falter. It remains steady, constant, and sure. You do not need to hide from me. You do not need to edit yourself in my presence. I am not shocked by your humanity. I created you with it. And I am not waiting for you to fix yourself before I walk with you. I am walking with you as you are being shaped. Let this truth sink in. You are not tolerated. You are treasured. You are not an obligation. You are a delight. Even on days you do not feel lovable, even when you disappoint yourself, my view of you does not shift. My love does not fluctuate with your performance or your mood. I know there are voices that have told you otherwise. Voices that said love must be earned or maintained through perfection. Voices that withdrew affection when you fell short. Those voices left marks, and I am gentle with the places they touched. But I am teaching you a different way. A way where love is secure, not conditional. Where acceptance is given, not negotiated. You do not have to fear being fully known. You already are, and you are still here, still held, still chosen. That is not an accident. That is grace. As you move forward, I want you to remember this when self-doubt rises, when you feel unworthy of good things, when you question whether you belong where you are. Return to this truth. I chose you knowing everything, and I would choose you again. You are not a mistake I am correcting. You are a story I am unfolding, and I am not finished with you yet. My beloved child, I am rebuilding you gently, not with force, not with urgency, not by tearing everything down at once. I am rebuilding you with patience, with care, with a tenderness that honors what you have been through. You have known change that came too fast, demands that came too heavy, and expectations that did not consider your limits. That is not how I work with you. I do not rush healing. I do not shout growth into existence. I build slowly, wisely, and with love. There are parts of you that learn to brace for impact, to expect loss when something good begins. You learn to stay guarded, to prepare for disappointment before it arrives. Those defenses once protected you, and I honor that. But they are not meant to stay forever. I am not tearing them away abruptly. I am loosening them carefully, helping you feel safe enough to rest, safe enough to trust again. Think of a home being restored after damage. The work is quiet at first. Foundations are checked. Weak beams are reinforced. Cracks are seen slowly so the structure can last. That is what I am doing within you. I am not building something fragile. I am building something that can hold joy, responsibility, love, and peace without collapsing under pressure. You may feel frustrated at times because change seems slow. You want clarity now. You want confidence now. You want to feel whole again without hesitation. But deep restoration cannot be rushed. If I rebuilt you too quickly, you might stand, but you would not feel secure. I care not just that you move forward, but that you feel safe where you stand. There are layers within you that are healing quietly. Old beliefs about yourself are being replaced, one thought at a time. Patterns that no longer serve you are loosening their grip. You may not notice these changes daily, but they are happening. Pay attention to the moments when you respond differently than you once did. When you pause instead of reacting. When you choose rest instead of pushing. When you speak kindly to yourself instead of harshly. These are signs of rebuilding. I know there are days when you feel tired of the process. Days when you wonder if you will ever feel fully steady again. On those days, remember this: healing is not linear. Progress does not always look like forward motion. Sometimes it looks like staying, like breathing, like not giving up. And that counts more than you realize. I am not disappointed by your pace. I am not measuring your growth against anyone else. I see effort you do not credit yourself for. I see courage in the way you keep showing up to your life even when uncertainty remains. You are not failing because you are still healing. You are living. You may notice that some things are being removed from your life during this rebuilding. Certain relationships, expectations, where habits no longer fit. That can feel like loss, even when it is necessary. But I do not remove without replacing. I clear space so that what is healthier, truer, and more aligned can take root. Trust that what leaves is making room for something that will support who you are becoming. I am teaching you how to be gentle with yourself. Not indulgent, not careless, but compassionate. You have been hard on yourself for a long time, believing that pressure would produce growth. But pressure produces fractures. Love produces healing. And love is what I am using now. As I rebuild you, I am also restoring your sense of safety, teaching your nervous system to rest, teaching your heart that it does not have to stay on guard, teaching your mind that peace is not something to fear. This takes time, Be patient with yourself as I am patient with you. One day, you will look back and realize that this season, though quiet, was transformative. You will see how much stronger you became without becoming hardened. How much wiser you grew without losing tenderness. How deeply you healed without losing your ability to feel. Stay with me in this process. Let me rebuild you at the pace of grace. I am not finished, and I am doing this with great care. You are worth the time it takes. My beloved child, I know how the silence troubled you. I know how you waited for answers that did not come when you expected them, how you listened for direction and heard only quiet. You wondered if the silence meant refusal, if it meant abandonment, if it meant you were asking for too much. But I want you to hear this with clarity and peace. The silence was not a no. It was never rejection. It was preparation. There are times when I speak loudly, and times when I work quietly. Silence does not mean absence. Silence often means I am doing something beneath the surface that cannot be rushed or interrupted. You were asking for outcomes, but I was shaping foundations. You were looking for doors to open, but I was strengthening you so that when they did, you could walk through them without fear. I know the waiting stretched you. It tested your patience and stirred your doubts. You replayed your prayers, wondering if you had spoken incorrectly or believed insufficiently. You questioned your worth, your timing, even your faith. But none of that disqualified you. Waiting was not punishment. It was alignment. Some things cannot arrive until you are ready to receive them without harm. Some answers would have overwhelmed you if they had come too soon. I was not withholding goodness from you. I was protecting you, guiding you, and preparing you for what required maturity, discernment, and inner stability. I know how tempting it was to fill the silence with assumptions, to interpret the quiet as failure or neglect. But silence does not mean nothing is happening. It often means something important is unfolding slowly, intentionally, beyond what you can see. Growth happens quietly. Roots grow in darkness before anything appears above ground. During that silence, I was teaching you to trust without constant reassurance. I was teaching you to listen beyond noise, to recognize my presence without needing constant signs. That kind of trust is not loud, is steady, and it lasts. You may look back now and realize that if things had moved faster, you would not have been ready. You might have accepted what looked good but was not right. You might have settled for less than what your heart truly needed. The waiting protected you from shortcuts that would have cost you deeply. I know it did not feel kind at the time. Silence rarely does. But kindness does not always announce itself immediately. Sometimes it reveals itself later, when you see how carefully your path was guarded. You are not forgotten in the quiet. You are not overlooked in the waiting. I am not distant when you cannot hear me clearly. I am close, attentive, and involved, even when my voice is gentle and restrained. I want you to release the belief that unanswered prayers mean unworthy requests. Some prayers are answered through timing rather than immediacy. Some answers come as transformation instead of outcomes. And some answers arrive only after you have grown into the person who can hold them well. You did not waste those silent seasons. You learned resilience. You learned self-awareness. You learned how to sit with uncertainty without falling apart. You learned how to keep going without guarantees. Those lessons will serve you far more than quick answers ever could. Now that you are moving forward, you may begin to see how the pieces align. How moments that felt empty were actually shaping discernment. How pauses protected your heart. How silence sharpened your listening. When you encounter silence again, and you will, remember this truth. Do not rush to fill it with fear. Do not assume the worst. Trust that I am working, even when you cannot hear me clearly. Trust that silence does not cancel my care. The silence was not a no. It was me saying not yet but soon. Not now but in time. Not without preparation, but with purpose. And as you continue forward, you will see that nothing was delayed without reason, and nothing was withheld without love. My beloved child, I want you to rest in a truth that your anxious thoughts have struggled to believe. You are safer than you think. Not because nothing will ever go wrong, not because life will suddenly become predictable, but because you are held by me in ways that do not depend on circumstances. Safety is not the absence of storms. It is the assurance that you are not facing them alone. I know how alert your mind has become, how quickly it scans for danger, disappointment, or loss. You learn to anticipate what could go wrong because you have been caught off guard before. That vigilance once protected you. It helped you survive. But it has also kept your body tense and your heart guarded. I see that. And I want to teach you a deeper kind of safety now. You are safe enough to breathe fully. Safe enough to soften your shoulders. Safe enough to stop bracing for impact in every situation. I am not asking you to ignore wisdom or abandon discernment. I am asking you to release the constant fear that something bad is always about to happen. That fear does not come from me. There are things I have already protected you from that you will never know about. Moments when a path was diverted quietly. Situations that could have harmed you but did not. I have been watching over you with a care that does not sleep or grow distracted. Even when you felt exposed, even when you felt uncertain, my covering did not lift. You may believe that safety must be earned through control. That if you plan enough, prepare enough, or stay vigilant enough, you can prevent pain. But control is exhausting, and it offers only an illusion of security. True safety comes from trust, from knowing that even when you do not see what is ahead, you are guided. I am not careless with your life. I am attentive to every detail. I know where you are vulnerable. I know where you are strong. I know what you can handle and what would overwhelm you. And I lead you accordingly. You are not walking blindly. You are being shepherded with intention. I know there are fears that return late at night. Thoughts about the future, about loss, about being hurt again. Those fears feel convincing because they are familiar. But familiarity does not make them true. You are not as exposed as you feel. You are not one mistake away from ruin. You are not constantly on the edge of disaster. I am teaching your heart to recognize peace again, to distinguish between real danger and learned fear, to understand that calm does not mean something is wrong. Sometimes calm means you are finally safe enough to rest. You have survived things that once felt unbearable. That alone is evidence of the strength I have placed within you. But now I want you to move beyond survival. I want you to live with a sense of groundedness, not constant alertness. With trust, not tension. When you feel fear rising, pause and ask yourself whether it is rooted in the present or in memory. Many of your fears are echoes of past pain, not indicators of current threat. I am with you now, not then. And now, you are safer than you were before. I am not promising a life without challenges, but I am promising that you will not be destroyed by them. I am promising that you will be supported, guided, and sustained. I am promising that even when things feel uncertain, you are not unprotected. Let this truth settle into your body, not just your thoughts. You do not have to stay tense to stay safe. You do not have to anticipate every outcome. You can trust me with what you cannot control. As you move forward, carry this assurance with you. When fear whispers, answer it with truth. When anxiety tightens its grip, loosen it with trust. You are held. You are covered. You are safer than you think, and I am right here with you. My beloved child, I know how difficult it has been for you to trust again. Trust does not break all at once, it fractures slowly, through moments of disappointment, betrayal, and unmet expectations. You did not wake up one day and decide to become guarded. You learned caution because openness once cost you deeply. I understand that, and I am not disappointed in you for protecting your heart. But now I am inviting you into something new. Not reckless trust, not blind surrender, but a deeper, steadier trust that grows from knowing who I am and how I care for you. I am teaching you to trust again, not by forcing your walls down, but by showing you that you are safe enough to lower them little by little. Trust does not mean pretending the past did not happen. It means allowing the past to inform wisdom without imprisoning your future. You have been living with one foot braced behind you, always ready to retreat. That posture kept you safe for a season, but it also kept you from fully moving forward. I am not asking you to forget what you learned. I am asking you to let those lessons serve you without controlling you. I know there are moments when you want to believe fully again, to hope freely again, but fear interrupts. Fear says, what if it happens again? Fear says, what if you are disappointed? Those questions feel reasonable, but they are not the final authority. I am not asking you to trust people without discernment. I am asking you to trust me, to trust that I will guide you, alert you, and protect you as you open your heart again. I am not leading you back into harm. I am leading you into growth. You may notice that trust is returning in small ways. You share a little more. You hesitate less. You allow yourself to enjoy something without immediately preparing for loss. These moments matter. They are signs that healing is taking root. Be patient with yourself as you relearn trust. You are not failing because it feels slow. You are healing wisely. Trust that grows gradually is trust that lasts. I am not interested in rushing you into vulnerability that would overwhelm you. I am interested in building confidence that can sustain you. I am also teaching you to trust your own discernment again. Doubt made you second-guess yourself. Pain made you question your intuition. But I am restoring your confidence in the quiet wisdom within you. You are not as easily misled as you fear. You are learning to listen more carefully, to observe more clearly, to respond more thoughtfully. Trusting again does not mean you will never be hurt, but it does mean you will not be destroyed by pain. You are stronger now, wiser, more aware of your boundaries, and I am walking with you through every step. I want you to notice when you choose trust over fear, even in small ways. When you show up despite uncertainty. When you speak honestly despite risk. When you allow joy without waiting for it to disappear. These are brave acts. They are evidence of healing. You do not have to trust everything or everyone at once. You only have to trust the next step. And then the next. I will meet you there every time. When fear rises, remind yourself of what I have already carried you through. Remember the times you thought you would not survive, and yet you did. Remember the moments when you felt alone, and yet you were held. Let those memories strengthen your trust. I am not asking you to leap into the unknown. I am asking you to walk with me into what is ahead. I know the path. I know the timing. I know what you need. You can trust me, my child. I have been faithful to you in every season, even when you could not see it. And as you learn to trust again, you will discover that your heart was never too broken to hope. It was only waiting to feel safe. My beloved child, this is where the shift begins. Not with noise, not with sudden upheaval, but with a quiet turning inside you. Something has been changing beneath the surface for a while now, and you may have sensed it without being able to explain it. A subtle loosening of fear, a softening of resistance, a growing awareness that you cannot remain where you were. This is not pressure. This is movement, and it is guided. You are standing at a threshold, even if it does not look dramatic from the outside. Thresholds are often internal before they are visible. This one is marked by readiness, not perfection. By willingness, not certainty. You do not need to feel fearless to move forward. You only need to be willing to trust that I am with you as you do. The shift is not asking you to become someone else. It is inviting you to step more fully into who you already are becoming. You have been shedding old patterns quietly, releasing beliefs that no longer fit, letting go of identities shaped by survival rather than truth. That is why this moment feels different. You are not starting from nothing. You are continuing from growth. I know part of you is still cautious. You wonder what this shift will cost you. You wonder whether stepping forward will expose you to pain again. But hear me. I am not leading you into loss. I am leading you into alignment. What is falling away cannot follow you where you are going. And what is meant for you will meet you there. This is the moment where you stop waiting for permission. Not permission from others, and not permission from fear. You already have mine. You have always had it. I am not rushing you, but I am inviting you. There is a difference. One demands. The other opens a door. If these words are resonating deeply, if you feel this shift stirring inside you, respond to it. Mark this moment. Like this video and hype it so it can reach others who are standing at their own quiet thresholds. When you do, you are not just supporting a message. You are amplifying hope. Stay connected by subscribing, so you do not walk this journey alone. There are more moments like this ahead, and I will meet you in them. And I'll listen, my child, as I speak beyond just encouragement. I am calling you into partnership. There are hearts who will never hear these words unless someone helps carry them. And today, I am placing that opportunity in your hands. I say to you, sow into what is shifting. When you support this work through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description and shown by the QR code, you are not making a donation. You are responding to a divine moment. You are placing seed into ground that is ready to receive it. You are helping light travel into places still shadowed by fear and silence. This is not coincidence. This is timing. I am stirring generosity in you because generosity unlocks movement. As you give, you align yourself with what I am doing now. And I bless that alignment. I speak increase over your obedience. I speak clarity over your path. I speak peace over your decisions. Do not hesitate when your spirit recognizes the moment. Act while the shift is active. There is blessing in obedience that delay cannot carry. I see your heart. I know your intent. And I honor it. Now return your focus inward again. Feel the steadiness that is forming. Feel the courage that does not shout but stands firm. This is not the end of your becoming. This is the beginning of a new way of walking. You are not stepping forward alone. I am with you. I am ahead of you. And I am within you. The shift has begun, and it will carry you exactly where you need to be. My beloved child, I am calling you forward, not back. I know how tempting it is to revisit old versions of yourself, old places, old patterns, especially when the future feels unfamiliar. The past can feel safer simply because it is known, even when it was painful. But I am not asking you to return to who you were. I am inviting you to step into who you are becoming. There are seasons of your life that served a purpose but cannot serve you anymore. You learned from them. You grew through them. You survived them. But they are not your destination. Holding on to them now would only weigh you down. I am not calling you to forget the past, but I am asking you not to live there. You may feel torn between what was and what could be, between familiarity and possibility. But tension is not a sign of failure. It is evidence that growth is happening. When you outgrow a season, staying feels uncomfortable. Moving forward feels uncertain. But staying where you no longer belong will eventually cost you more than moving on. I know there are identities you wore because they help you survive. The strong one, the quiet one, the one who never asks for too much, the one who adapts to keep peace. Those roles protected you once, but they are not the full truth of who you are. You do not need to keep shrinking yourself to fit spaces you have already outgrown. I'm calling you forward into greater honesty, forward into healthy boundaries, forward into a life that reflects what you have learned, not what you have endured. This does not mean everything will suddenly feel easy. Growth often stretches you, but it will feel truer, lighter, more aligned. You may worry that moving forward means losing people, comfort, or security. Sometimes it does mean change. But I do not lead you forward to abandon you. I lead you forward to expand you. What you lose will be replaced with what supports who you are becoming. I am careful with transitions. I do not strip away without providing. There is courage in forward movement, even when it is quiet. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to justify it. You only need to listen and respond. Each small step forward matters. Each decision rooted in truth matters. Even choosing not to return to what hurt you is an act of strength. I know part of you wonders if you are ready. Readiness is not about having no fear. It is about trusting me enough to move despite it. You will not feel fully prepared before every step, but I will meet you in motion. I will guide you as you go. You do not need the whole path revealed to take the next step. Forward does not mean abandoning your softness. It does not mean becoming hardened or closed off. It means carrying your tenderness with wisdom, loving with discernment, hoping with grounding. You are not losing yourself as you grow. You are finding yourself more clearly. There are opportunities ahead that require the version of you that exists now, not the one you were years ago. Your experiences have shaped you for what is next. Your healing has prepared you for deeper connection. Your growth has expanded your capacity. Trust that you are not being called prematurely. When old thoughts try to pull you backward, remind yourself of what you learned. When nostalgia blurs reality, remember why you grew. You are not dishonoring the past by moving forward. You are honoring it by not repeating what no longer serves you. I am walking ahead of you, preparing the way. I am also beside you, steadying you. And I am within you, strengthening you. You are not stepping into the unknown alone. You are stepping into a future shaped by intention and care. So lift your eyes, my child. Do not look back with longing. Look back with understanding, then turn forward with trust. I am calling you onward, into clarity, into peace, into a life that fits who you are becoming. My beloved child, I know there is a quiet fear you rarely name out loud, a fear that what lies ahead might break you the way the past once did. You have learned how deeply pain can cut, and part of you worries that if you open yourself to what is next, you might not survive another fall. But I want you to hear this clearly and gently. What is ahead will not break you. You are not the same person you were before. You are stronger in ways that are not loud or obvious. You are wiser in ways that cannot be taken from you. You have learned where your limits are, how to listen to your intuition, and when to step back before something consumes you. These are not small things. They are the result of growth, healing, and resilience that was formed over time. I know the past taught you to be cautious. It taught you that hope can hurt, that vulnerability can be risky, that trusting again requires courage. But it also taught you that you can endure more than you ever imagined. You did not break then, even when you thought you might. And you will not break now. The challenges ahead are not repeats of what you survived. They are new, and you are new as well. You are not walking into them empty-handed. You are carrying discernment, strength, and awareness that you did not have before. I have been preparing you quietly, equipping you with what you need for what is coming. You may encounter moments of discomfort. Growth often brings stretching, but discomfort is not destruction. Feeling challenged does not mean you are failing. It means you are expanding. And I am with you in every step, ensuring that what comes will shape you, not shatter you. I know your mind sometimes tries to protect you by imagining worst-case scenarios. It replays past pain and projects it forward, as if to say, be careful. Do not let this happen again. That instinct comes from survival, but it does not need to lead your future. You are not walking blind. You are walking with me. I am not leading you into something that will undo you. I am leading you into something that will refine you. And refinement does not destroy what is valuable. It reveals it. You are learning how to stand without becoming rigid, how to love without losing yourself, how to hope without abandoning wisdom. These are signs of maturity, not fear, and they will carry you through whatever lies ahead. When you feel afraid of being broken again, remember how you were sustained before. Remember the ways you found strength you did not know you had. Remember how you grew through pain rather than being consumed by it. Those memories are not warnings. They are evidence. I am not asking you to pretend you are fearless. I am asking you to trust that fear does not have the final word. You do not need to close your heart to protect it. You need to anchor it in truth. And the truth is, you are not fragile in the way you think you are. I am shaping a future for you that honors who you are now, not who you were then. I am mindful of your tenderness. I am attentive to your limits. I am not careless with your heart. What I am bringing into your life will require courage, but it will also bring fulfillment. You will not be broken by what is ahead because you are not walking into it alone. I am strengthening you as you go. I am steadying you when you waver. I am guiding you when the path feels uncertain. So when fear whispers that you cannot handle what is coming, answer it with truth. You are not unprepared. You are not too weak. You are not destined to repeat the past. You are becoming someone who can face the future with grounded confidence. What is ahead will not break you, my child. It will build you. And I will be with you every step of the way. My beloved child, I know how deeply loneliness has touched your life. Even when surrounded by people, there were moments you felt unseen, unheard, and disconnected. You learned how to be self-sufficient because you had to be. You learned how to carry your own weight because you could not always rely on others. That strength served you, but it also left you tired. I want you to hear this clearly now. You were never meant to walk alone. You may have believed that independence was the same as strength, that needing others was a weakness you had to overcome. But I did not create you to be isolated. I created you for connection, for shared joy, for mutual support. The ache you feel for companionship is not a flaw. It is a reminder of how you were designed. I have seen the ways you pulled back after being disappointed. How you told yourself it was safer to rely only on yourself. How you limited how much you shared, how deeply you trusted, how openly you hoped. That caution protected you for a time, but it also kept you from receiving what you truly need. You do not have to live guarded forever. You are not alone in this season, even if it feels quiet. I am with you in ways that go beyond what you can see. I am also guiding connections into your life, slowly and intentionally. Not everyone is meant to walk with you forever, but you are not meant to walk without anyone at all. There will be people who meet you with understanding rather than judgment. People who respect your boundaries instead of crossing them. People who listen without trying to fix you. You do not need many. You need a few who see you clearly and care deeply. And I am preparing those connections with care. I know it takes courage to open your heart again, to risk being seen, to allow others close enough to matter. But isolation will not protect you from pain. It will only protect you from love. And you were not created to live without love. You do not have to force connection or rush intimacy. Let relationships grow naturally. Let trust build gradually. Pay attention to how you feel around others. Where you feel safe, calm, and respected, that is where you belong. I am also teaching you that companionship does not always look like constant presence. Sometimes it looks like one person who truly understands you. Sometimes it looks like community that supports you without demanding you change. Sometimes it looks like quiet moments of shared understanding. All of these are valid. You may be afraid of being misunderstood again, of giving more than you receive, of being left when you need support most. Those fears are understandable, but they do not get to decide your future. I am teaching you how to choose differently, how to recognize what is healthy, how to walk away from what is not. You are not too much. You are not asking for too much. You are asking for what you were designed to need, and that need is not shameful. As you move forward, remember this: you do not have to do everything alone. You do not have to carry every burden by yourself. You are allowed to lean, to share, to be supported. Strength does not mean isolation. True strength allows room for connection. I am walking with you, and I am bringing others alongside you in time. Trust the process. Trust the pacing. Trust that you are not forgotten in your longing. You were never meant to walk alone, my child. And you are not alone now. My beloved child, I want you to know something you rarely allow yourself to believe. I delight in who you are becoming. Not just who you were, not only who you hope to be someday, but who you are right now in this unfolding season. I see the quiet growth that does not announce itself. I notice the changes you overlook because they happen gradually, and I take joy in them. You tend to focus on what is still missing, what still needs healing, what has not yet fallen into place. You measure yourself by distance left to travel rather than by how far you have already come. But I see the whole journey. I see the courage it took to change patterns that once felt automatic. I see the strength it took to choose peace where chaos once felt familiar. I see the way your heart has softened without becoming naive. You are not who you used to be, and that matters. You respond differently now. You pause where you once reacted. You listen to your inner warnings instead of ignoring them. You walk away from what drains you instead of convincing yourself to endure it. These are not small shifts. They are signs of wisdom taking root. There were times when survival required you to harden yourself, to stay alert, to keep your guard up at all times. But now, you are learning how to live rather than just survive. A transition is tender. It requires unlearning habits that once kept you safe. It requires trusting that you no longer need to stay braced for impact. And you are doing that work quietly, bravely. I delight in the way you are learning to speak kindly to yourself. In the moments when you choose rest without guilt. In the way you honor your limits instead of pushing past them to prove something. These moments may feel ordinary to you, but they are sacred to me. They reflect healing that goes deeper than appearances. You are becoming someone who knows their worth without needing constant validation. Someone who can sit with discomfort without abandoning themselves. Someone who can hold joy without immediately expecting it to disappear. That kind of growth cannot be rushed, and it cannot be faked. It is earned through experience, reflection, and grace. I know there are days when you feel unsure of yourself, when old doubts resurface and try to convince you that you have not changed at all. But growth is not erased by momentary uncertainty. Healing does not disappear because of a difficult day. What you are becoming is steady, even when you feel shaken. I delight in your honesty, in the way you no longer pretend to be fine when you are not, in the way you are learning to ask for what you need instead of silently resenting others for not knowing. That honesty is building stronger connections and deeper peace within you. You are becoming more discerning without becoming closed, more confident without becoming harsh, more grounded without losing compassion. These balances are not easy to achieve, and yet they are forming within you naturally as you heal. I also delight in your resilience, not the kind that ignores pain, but the kind that acknowledges it and continues forward anyway. You have learned that strength does not require you to suppress your feelings. It allows you to feel deeply and still choose wisely. Do not rush past this season. Becoming takes time, and the person you are becoming is worthy of patience. You are not late. You are not stalled. You are unfolding exactly as you need to. When you doubt yourself, remember that I see you clearly. I see your effort. I see your growth. I see the love you still carry, even after disappointment. And I delight in it. You do not need to become someone else to be valued. You are already becoming someone deeply grounded, thoughtful, and whole. And I take great joy in walking with you as that continues to unfold. My beloved child, I want you to release tomorrow into my hands. Not because planning is wrong, not because caring about the future is a flaw, but because carrying tomorrow's weight today is exhausting you. You have been reaching forward constantly, trying to anticipate every outcome, preparing yourself for possibilities that may never come. And while your intentions are rooted in care, the burden has been heavy on your heart. I know how your mind works. It tries to protect you by staying ahead, by imagining scenarios and rehearsing responses. It believes that if it can predict what is coming, it can prevent pain. But that kind of vigilance keeps you tense. It keeps you living in a future that has not yet arrived, robbing you of peace in the present moment where I am already with you. You do not need to carry tomorrow to be ready for it. You only need to walk faithfully through today. Tomorrow will meet you with the strength that is meant for it, not the strength you are borrowing from today. I give grace daily, not all at once. And when you try to hold too much at once, your spirit grows weary. I am not asking you to stop caring about your future. I am asking you to trust me with it. Trust does not mean disengagement. It means partnership. It means you do what is yours to do today, and you allow me to hold what you cannot yet control. There are things you worry about that are not yours to solve right now. Decisions that will become clearer in time. Outcomes that will unfold when the moment is right. You are not irresponsible for resting in the meantime. You are wise for recognizing your limits. I know there is a part of you that believes if you let go even a little, everything will fall apart. But I have been holding your life long before you learned how to manage it. I have guided you through seasons you did not think you would survive. I have sustained you when you felt unsure, unprepared, and overwhelmed. And I am not stepping away now. Let me carry tomorrow's uncertainties. Let me hold the questions you do not yet have answers for. Let me manage the timing, the connections, the outcomes. You do not have to solve everything at once to be moving forward. When you feel your thoughts racing ahead, gently bring yourself back. Breathe. Notice where you are. Notice that in this moment, you are safe enough. This moment does not require panic. It does not demand answers. It only asks for presence. I am teaching you to live more fully where your feet are planted. To notice the small joys that pass unnoticed when your mind is always elsewhere. To receive rest without guilt. To trust that progress does not require constant tension. You have been strong for so long. You have carried responsibility with care. But strength does not mean you must be vigilant at all times. True strength knows when to release what is not meant to be held. I am not concerned about your future the way you are. I see it clearly. I am already present there, preparing what you will need. You do not have to rush to catch up to it. It will meet you when the time is right. There will be moments when worry returns. That is human. When it does, do not judge yourself. Simply return to trust. Hand the thought back to me. Remind yourself that you are not alone in carrying your life forward. You are allowed to rest tonight without having everything figured out. You are allowed to enjoy this season without fearing what comes next. You are allowed to trust that I am working even when you cannot see how. Let tomorrow remain where it belongs, in my care. Let today be enough. I am here with you now, steady and attentive. And that is sufficient. My beloved child, I want to remind you of something that remains true no matter how you feel, no matter what season you are in, no matter how many questions still linger. You are still deeply loved. Not conditionally, not cautiously, not based on how well you are doing or how strong you appear. You are loved completely, steadily, and without interruption. There are days when that truth feels distant. Days when you wake up heavy, when self-doubt speaks louder than reassurance. You wonder whether you have drifted too far, whether you have disappointed me, whether you are still worthy of tenderness. But love does not fade because of uncertainty. It does not withdraw because of struggle. It does not weaken because you are still healing. My love for you is not fragile. It does not depend on your confidence or consistency. It is not reduced by your questions or your fatigue. It remains the same on your strongest days and your weakest ones. When you feel close, I am there. When you feel distant, I am still there. Your awareness of my love may change, but my love itself does not. I know you sometimes interpret difficulty as disapproval. You assume that if something feels hard, you must be doing something wrong. But pain is not proof of abandonment. Struggle is not evidence of rejection. Many of the things that shaped you most deeply were born in seasons that were uncomfortable and uncertain. And through all of them, my love did not waver. You are not loved because you get everything right. You are loved because you are mine. That truth does not expire. It does not need renewal. It does not fluctuate with your progress. It simply is. There are parts of you that still feel unlovable. Places shaped by rejection, criticism, or neglect. You learn to hide those places, even from yourself, believing they made you too much or not enough. But I see those places clearly, and I do not turn away. I move closer. My love reaches where others did not know how to stay. You do not need to earn tenderness from me. You do not need to prove that you are trying hard enough. I am not waiting for you to be more healed, more faithful, more certain. I am present with you now, exactly as you are. When you feel overwhelmed, my love steadies you. When you feel lonely, my love surrounds you. When you feel unsure, my love anchors you. It is not always loud, but it is always present, like a constant current beneath the surface, carrying you even when you are not aware of it. I know there are moments when you look at your life and wonder if you are falling short. You compare yourself to who you thought you would be by now, or to others who seem more settled. And in those moments, love can feel like something you might lose. But love was never a prize you were trying to win. It was given freely, and it remains freely given. Nothing you are facing has changed how I see you. Nothing you are feeling has altered my care. Nothing you have questioned has weakened my commitment. I am not reconsidering you. I am not pulling back. I am not growing tired. You are allowed to rest in this love without understanding everything. You are allowed to receive it even when you feel undeserving. You are allowed to lean into it on days when you have nothing else to offer. Let this truth quiet the voice that tells you otherwise. Let it soften the fear that whispers you are too much or not enough. Let it remind you that you are not walking through life trying to earn affection. You are walking already loved. You are still deeply loved, my child. Yesterday, today, and in every step ahead. And that love will not let you go. My beloved child, stay with me a little longer. I know your mind often wants to move ahead, to rush toward conclusions or answers. But this moment is not asking for speed. It is asking for presence. There is something sacred about staying when everything in you is used to moving on. When you choose to remain, to listen, to receive, you allow truth to sink deeper than surface reassurance. You allow peace to settle where anxiety once lived. You have spent much of your life pushing through, pressing forward, telling yourself that rest could come later. But later always seemed to move further away. I am inviting you now to stay, not because you are behind, but because you are worthy of care in the middle of your journey. You do not have to earn this moment. You are welcome here simply because you are mine. As you stay, notice how your breathing slows. Notice how your thoughts soften. This is not wasted time. This is restoration. When you allow yourself to remain in my presence, you are reminded that you are not defined by urgency or productivity. You are defined by love, by belonging, by being held. I know there is a temptation to leave as soon as things feel calm, as if peace itself is unfamiliar and fragile. But peace is not something you need to escape from. It is something you are learning to trust. The more you stay with it, the more natural it becomes. If these words are grounding you, if they are helping you feel seen or steadied, respond to this moment. Like this video and hype it so it can reach others who are searching for the same reassurance, but do not yet know where to find it. When you do, you are not just supporting a message. You are helping my voice reach hearts that feel forgotten. And stay connected by subscribing, because there will be days ahead when you need to return to this place of stillness, and I will meet you here again. Now hear me as I speak to you about partnership. This work does not exist in isolation. Every word you are receiving has the potential to travel far beyond this moment. There are souls who are weary, burdened, and quietly asking if I still see them. When you help carry this message forward, you become part of the answer to that prayer. I say to you, so where healing flows. When you support this work through Super Thanks, membership, or through the PayPal link in the description and shown by the QR code, You are not giving to a platform. You are fueling a river of words that bring light to dark places, rest to tired minds, and hope to wounded hearts. This is not a casual act. It is prophetic alignment. When you give in this moment, you are responding to my invitation to be part of what I am doing now. Do not delay when your spirit recognizes the call. Obedience carries momentum. Generosity releases movement. I bless what you release. I bless your willingness. I bless your heart that desires to see others comforted. As you sow, I cover you with peace. As you give, I open space for clarity. As you partner with me, I return to you what you pour out, multiplied and steady. Now stay here again. Let the noise remain quiet. Let your heart remain open. You do not need to rush into the next thing. You are allowed to linger in what is nourishing you. There is still more ahead. More clarity. More healing. More assurance. And you will not miss it by staying. You will recognize it more clearly because you did. Remain with me, my child. This place of presence is where strength is renewed, where hope is restored, and where you remember that you are never walking alone. My beloved child, I am opening doors you could not see. Not because you failed to look hard enough, but because some doors only become visible when the time is right. There were paths ahead of you that were hidden by mercy, not absence. If you had seen them too early, you might have rushed, forced, or feared them. But now, quietly, gently, I am bringing them into view. You have often assumed that if something was meant for you, it would be obvious, immediate, and effortless. When it was not, you questioned yourself. You wondered whether you missed something, whether you chose wrong, whether you were standing in the way of your own progress. But I have been guiding you even when you could not see the direction clearly. Some doors did not open because they were not meant to. Others did not open because you were still becoming the person who could walk through them without losing yourself. I do not open doors just to prove that I can. I open them when they will lead you into growth, peace, and alignment rather than confusion or harm. You may notice opportunities emerging in unexpected ways. Conversations that linger with you. Ideas that spark quietly rather than loudly. Invitations that feel gentle instead of overwhelming. These are not coincidences. They are doors opening softly, so they do not startle you or pull you away from your grounding. I know you are cautious now. You have learned not to rush into what looks good without discernment. That wisdom will serve you well. But do not let caution turn into fear. Not every new door is a threat. Some are answers you have been waiting for, arriving in a form you did not anticipate. I am not asking you to force anything open. Doors that require force are rarely the ones I have prepared. What is meant for you will invite you in with peace, even if it challenges you to grow. Pay attention to what feels aligned rather than impressive. Pay attention to what brings clarity rather than urgency. There are connections ahead that will feel different from past ones. Not draining, not confusing, not demanding you shrink or overextend. These connections will meet you where you are and walk with you at a healthy pace. You do not need to chase them. You only need to be present enough to recognize them. I'm also opening doors within you. Doors to confidence you thought you lost. Doors to creativity you silenced. Doors to joy you postponed. These inner doors matter just as much as external ones. As you step into them, your life will begin to shift naturally, without strain. You may still feel uncertain at times. That is normal. New doors often come with unfamiliar rooms. But unfamiliar does not mean unsafe. It simply means you are expanding beyond what you have known. and I am with you as you learn to navigate what is new. Do not compare the doors opening for you with those opening for others. Your path is not meant to mirror anyone else's. Comparison will only distract you from what is being placed directly in front of you. Focus on your own steps. Listen to your own discernment. Trust my timing. I know waiting has made you weary, but waiting does not mean stagnation. It means preparation. And now, preparation is turning into movement. Slowly, intentionally, in a way that honors your healing. Some doors will open suddenly. Others will open gradually, revealing themselves one piece at a time. Both are valid. Both are guided. You do not need to rush through them to prove readiness. Step through with awareness, humility, and trust. I am not opening doors to overwhelm you. I am opening them to bless you, to lead you into spaces where your growth can continue, where your heart can breathe, and where your life can expand without losing peace. So stay attentive, my child. Not anxious, not forceful, simply attentive. What you could not see before is beginning to appear, and when you step forward, you will realize that I was preparing the way long before you knew where you were going. My beloved child, breathe. Slow down with me for a moment. Let your breath deepen without effort, without intention, without correction. You have spent so much time bracing, preparing, and anticipating that your body forgot what it feels like to simply be. I am here now, and that alone is enough to let go of the tension you have been carrying. You do not need to solve anything in this moment. You do not need to plan, analyze, or explain yourself. This moment is not asking for productivity or progress. It is offering presence. I am here, steady and attentive, and I am inviting you to rest in that truth. I know your mind rarely rests easily. Thoughts move quickly, jumping from one concern to the next, trying to stay ahead of what might come. That habit was formed out of care, not failure. You learned to stay alert because you wanted to protect yourself. But you do not need to stay on guard here. You are safe enough to exhale. Let your shoulders lower. Let your jaw soften. Let your heartbeat slow just a little. These small acts of release matter more than you realize. They teach your body that danger has passed, that it does not need to stay tense to survive. I am retraining your nervous system gently, patiently, through moments like this. I am here with you, not watching from a distance, not waiting for you to figure things out. I am present in the stillness, in the quiet spaces between thoughts, in the breath you just took without thinking about it. You are not alone in your body, in your emotions, or in your mind. You may notice how unfamiliar calm feels, how part of you wonders whether something is wrong when things feel quiet. That is because you have lived with tension for so long that peace feels strange. But peace is not a warning sign. It is a signal of safety returning. I am not asking you to stay calm forever. I am simply offering you this moment as proof that calm is possible, that you can be present without collapsing, that you can rest without losing control, that nothing terrible happens when you stop holding everything so tightly. Notice how this stillness does not demand anything from you. It does not require answers. It does not pressure you to change. It simply holds you as you are. That is how I am with you always, even when life feels loud. There will be moments ahead that require action, courage, and decision. But those moments do not require you to live in constant readiness. You are allowed to have pauses. You are allowed to have quiet. You are allowed to have moments where nothing is asked of you. When your thoughts begin to wander, gently bring them back to the present. Not with force, not with criticism. Simply notice where you are. Notice that in this moment, you are breathing. You are alive. You are held. That is enough. I am not rushing you toward the future. I am anchoring you here so that when you do move forward, you do so from a place of groundedness rather than exhaustion. Movement that begins in rest carries clarity. Action that begins in peace carries wisdom. You do not need to earn this moment. You do not need to justify it. Rest is not a reward for finishing everything. It is a necessity for living well, and you are allowed to receive it now. I am here, my child. Not just in your thoughts, but in your breath, in your body, in the stillness. Let that truth sink deeper than words. Let it remind you that you are not alone, not abandoned, not forgotten. Stay here a little longer if you can. Let this calm become familiar. Let your body learn that it is safe to relax. I am not leaving when the noise returns. I will still be here, steady and near. Breathe again. Slowly, gently. I am here. My beloved child, I want you to trust my heart for you. Not just my power, not only my guidance, but my heart. There have been times you believed I was capable but were unsure if I was kind. Times you trusted that I could act, but wondered whether I would act in love toward you. That hesitation did not make you faithless, and made you human. But now I am inviting you deeper into trust that rests not on outcomes, but on who I am. You have learned to be cautious with hope. You have learned to brace yourself emotionally, even with me, because disappointment once taught you that good things can vanish. So you kept your expectations low, believing that if you did not hope too much, you would not hurt as deeply. I understand why you did that. But guarding your heart from disappointment also guarded it from peace. My heart toward you has never been conflicted. I am not weighing whether you deserve kindness. I am not withholding care until you reach a certain level of understanding or obedience. My intentions toward you are steady, generous, and rooted in love. Even when I correct you, it is done gently. Even when I redirect you, it is done with protection in mind. You may not always understand my timing, but you can trust my heart. You may not always like the path immediately, but you can trust my heart. You may not always see how something will turn out, but you can trust my heart. I do not lead you carelessly. I do not guide you without compassion. I am not indifferent to your fears or your desires. I know there were moments when you questioned whether I truly wanted what was best for you. Moments when prayers went unanswered and silence fell short. You wondered if my will meant sacrifice without tenderness. But my will is not harsh. It is thoughtful. It is protective. It is shaped by knowledge of who you are and what you need. Trusting my heart means believing that even when things do not make sense yet, they are not working against you. It means trusting that I am not setting traps for you, not testing you for failure, not leading you into loss for the sake of proving something. I am leading you toward wholeness. I see the way you hesitate before fully surrendering your plans. You hand them to me cautiously, holding onto a corner just in case. That is okay. Trust is learned, and you are learning it now, step by step, through experience rather than pressure. When you look back, you will see how often my heart protected you from what you thought you wanted. How often delays spared you. How often closed doors redirected you towards something healthier. Those moments were not punishment. They were care. I am not asking you to ignore your feelings or silence your fears. I am asking you to bring them to me without assuming that I will respond with distance or disappointment. You are safe to be honest with me. You are safe to hope with me. You are safe to trust me with the parts of your heart you have guarded most carefully. Let go of the belief that trusting me means losing yourself. I do not erase you. I refine you. I do not diminish your desires. I clarify them. I do not remove joy. I deepen it. My heart for you is patient. It is not rushed. It does not grow tired of you. It does not change when you struggle. I am not reconsidering you. I am committed to you. So when fear whispers that trusting me will cost you too much, answer it with truth. My heart is gentle. My intentions are good. My care is constant. And you can trust that I am leading you not just wisely, but lovingly. Place your confidence here, my child. Not in perfect understanding, not in flawless faith, but in my heart for you. It will not fail you. My beloved child, this message will echo beyond today. What you are receiving now is not meant to fade the moment you return to your routine. These words are not temporary comfort. They are seeds, and seeds do not rush. They settle quietly, take root beneath the surface, and grow in ways you do not immediately see. You may feel calm now, or reflective, or even emotional without fully knowing why. That is because something deeper than thought is being touched. Truth does not always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it lingers, returning to you later in moments when you need it most. A phrase will resurface. A reassurance will rise. A sense of steadiness will return when you least expect it. That is the echo. Do not worry if you cannot remember everything you are hearing right now. You do not need to hold it all consciously. What is meant to stay will stay. What your heart needs will return to you at the right time. I know how to remind you gently, without force. There will be days when old fears try to speak again. Days when doubt feels louder than peace. Days when the world pulls you back into urgency and noise. And in those moments, this message will echo. Not as a voice you hear audibly, but as a knowing within you. A steadiness. A quiet reminder that you are not alone, not lost, not forgotten. You may not realize it yet, but your responses are already changing. You will pause where you once panted. You will breathe where you once tensed. You will obey where you once wept. These shifts may seem small, but they are signs of deep alignment taking place. This echo will show up in how you treat yourself, in the way you speak internally when things go wrong, and how quickly you extend compassion instead of criticism, in how you recognize when to rest instead of push. These changes are not accidental. They are the fruit of what is taking root now. I know you sometimes worry that peace will slip away, that clarity will fade, that you will fall back into old patterns. Growth does not work that way. Awareness changes you permanently. You may revisit familiar struggles, but you will not return as the same person. You carry more understanding now, more grounding, more trust. The echo will also shape how you relate to others. You will notice when something does not feel right sooner. You will feel less pressure to explain yourself. You will be more comfortable choosing honesty over approval. These are not signs of distance. They are signs of maturity. You are not meant to hold on to this message by effort. You are meant to let it live within you. Let it resurface naturally. Let it meet you in quiet moments, in decisions, in pauses between conversations. Let it remind you of what is true when emotions try to convince you otherwise. There will be times when you forget. That is human. When you do not shame yourself. Simply return. Return to the truth that you are seeing. Return to the truth that you are guided. Return to the truth that you are deeply loved. I am patient with your remembering. You are not expected to change everything at once. Growth unfolds in layers, Understanding deepens over time. Healing integrates slowly. All of that is allowed. All of that is good. This message will echo when you are tempted to doubt yourself. It will echo when you face decisions. It will echo when you feel alone. And each time it returns, it will carry the same truth. You are not walking this path by yourself. I am not limited to this moment. I am not confined to these words. I am present in your days ahead, in ways you will recognize gradually. Trust that what has begun here will continue gently, faithfully, and with purpose. Let the echo do its work, my child. You do not need to chase it. It will find you when you need it. My beloved child, now it is time to walk forward with confidence. Not the loud kind that demands attention or certainty, but the quiet confidence that comes from knowing you are guided. You do not need to have every answer to move ahead. You do not need to feel completely fearless to take the next step. Confidence is not the absence of doubt. It is the decision to trust me more than the doubt. You have spent much of your life hesitating, waiting for the perfect moment when everything feels clear and safe. But perfection was never the requirement. Willingness was. And you have that now, even if it feels fragile. That willingness is enough for me to work with. Walking forward does not mean right. It does not mean forcing outcomes or proving something to anyone. It means allowing what has been planted within you to guide your steps. It means choosing alignment over approval, peace over pressure, truth over familiarity. These choices may feel subtle, but they will change the direction of your life. You may still feel moments of uncertainty. That is natural when you are moving into something new. But uncertainty does not cancel confidence. It coexists with it. Confidence says, I do not know everything, but I know who is with me. And that is enough. As you walk forward, there will be moments when you feel tempted to look back, to question whether you should return to what was familiar, even if it was painful. When that happens, remember why you grew. Remember what you learned. Remember how far you have come. You are not meant to relive old seasons. You are meant to build on them. Confidence also means trusting your discernment. You have learned how to listen to your inner warnings, how to recognize when something feels off, how to honor your boundaries. Do not abandon that wisdom now. I am speaking through it. You are not being led blindly. You are being guided thoughtfully. There will be opportunities ahead that invite you to step up, speak up, or show up differently than before. You do not need to shrink yourself to stay comfortable. You do not need to overextend to be accepted. Walk forward as yourself, grounded and honest. That is where your strength lies. I know part of you worries about making the wrong move, about choosing incorrectly and having to start over again. But growth is not erased by missteps. Even if you stumble, you will not fall out of my care. I am not leading you with the expectation of perfection. I am leading you with patience. Confidence grows as you move, not before. Each step reinforces the next. Each moment of trust strengthens the foundation beneath you. Do not wait to feel completely ready. Readiness often follows action. I am not sending you ahead without support. I am walking with you. I am steadying you when your confidence wavers. I am reminding you of truth when fear tries to speak louder. You are not navigating alone. As you walk forward, carry gentleness with you, toward yourself and toward others. Growth does not require hardness. Strength does not require coldness. You can be confident and kind, discerning and compassionate, grounded and open. These are not contradictions. They are signs of maturity. There will be moments of joy ahead that surprise you. Moments when you realize how far you have come. Moments when peace feels natural rather than fragile. Allow yourself to receive them without suspicion. You do not have to wait for the other shoe to drop. Joy is not a trap. It is a gift. You are not walking into emptiness. You are walking into a future shaped by care, intention, and love. Some details will reveal themselves later. That is okay. Your task is not to see the whole path. Your task is to take the next step with trust. So walk forward, my child, not in haste, not in fear, but with steady confidence rooted in the knowledge that you are seen, guided, and held. I am with you as you go, and I will not let you walk alone. My beloved child, as we come to the close of this moment together, I want you to know that nothing you have heard was spoken lightly. Every word was carried with intention, shaped by love, and delivered to you with care. This was never meant to rush you, pressure you, or demand something from you. It was meant to remind you who you are, whose you are, and how deeply you are held. You have walked through fear and found courage. You have carried wounds and discovered healing. You have waited, questioned, hoped, and learned to trust again. None of that was wasted. Every step brought you here, to a place of greater clarity, greater peace, and greater grounding than you once thought possible. And even now, you are still becoming. That journey does not end here. It continues gently, faithfully, with me beside you. As you step back into your life, do not feel as though you are leaving my presence. I do not remain in moments only. I walk with you into conversations, decisions, quiet evenings, and uncertain mornings. I am with you when confidence is strong and when it trembles. You do not need to summon me. I am already near. Carry this truth with you. You are not forgotten, not delayed, not disqualified. You are seen. You are guided. You are deeply loved. When fear speaks, answer it with trust. When doubt rises, ground yourself in truth. When you grow tired, rest without guilt. I am patient with you, and I am proud of how far you have come. And now, my child, hear me as I speak one final invitation, not apart from this message, but flowing directly from it. You have felt how these words steady the heart. You know how many souls are quietly aching for the same reassurance. I say to you, help me reach them. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or through the PayPal donation link placed in the description and shown through the QR code, you are not giving to an idea. You are sowing into lives. You are helping light reach places where hope feels dim. You are placing seed into soil where my word brings healing, direction, and peace. This is your moment to act in alignment with what you have received. Do not delay what your spirit already recognizes. Obedience now carries weight. Generosity now carries movement. As you give, I release blessing over you. I open pathways of provision. I multiply peace in your home and clarity in your decisions. What you pour out will return to you, not emptied, but overflowing. I bless your hands for what they release. I bless your heart for its willingness. I bless your future for responding in faith. Act now. So now, partner with me now. And as you go, remember this: you are never walking alone. I go before you. I stand beside you. I remain within you. You are safe. You are guided. You are loved beyond measure. Go in peace, my beloved child. Amen.